Hey guys, today we're going to see an opening trap. It's a very simple game. It's a mate in 10 and a mate in 11. I hope you guys will enjoy this game. It's a very instructive one on what you should do and what you should not do. e4, e5, knight f3, f6. Now here, the standard variation would be to play something like, nc6 or nf6 or bishop c5 or whatever. But here, black goes with a move like f6. f6 is a mistake. So knight takes e5. For knight takes e5, the only variation to play is actually queen e7. And from here you bring the knight back, d5, then you play d3, d takes e4, d takes e4, queen takes e4, and you just play bishop e2, and then you go castle. Then you play nc3, and you go castle, and then you bring the rook. Now the advantage in this position is that the black's king is in the center, and you can castle in just 2 moves, and you can then bring this rook into the game and then cause havoc. All right, so this is the correct response. In case if you play f6, this is what you should do. But now coming to the actual trap, after you take on f5, and if black goes with f takes e5, which is a mistake, now you go queen h5 check. For queen h5 check, if black plays g6, now you're going to capture the pawn on e5, and then it's a double attack. You're attacking the king and the rook at the same time. So as you can see, if g6, queen takes e5 check, black is forced to play a move like queen e7. Now you capture the rook on h8. If he captures the pawn on e4, you simply move the king to d1, and now the knight is still under threat from the queen, and this pawn is also under threat. He should move the knight because it is higher value, and there's only one square he can go, which is on e7. And when he goes to e7, we bring nc3 on tempo because the queen is out early, right? So now he can go like queen f5. Now we go f3 because he's actually targeting the pawn on f2, so you want to go f3. And you can do something like d5, and now you can simply either capture the pawn or play d4, or move this bishop and then bring the rook. White is simply up by material, and it's an easy win from here. So, in this variation, you're winning an exchange. So as you can see, if black plays g6, then you win the exchange with pawns. So that's how you should win the game. But if he does not play g6, okay, so if he goes king e7, now you're going to capture the pawn on e5. The king is forced to come to f7. Now with tempo, with check, we're bringing our bishop out. The king has to either move to g6 or he has to play d5. Now say if he plays d5, we're going to capture on d5. The king will go to g6. Now we play h4 because you want to give a h5. We also want to activate this rook, right? And when black goes with h6, now we're going to do another tactics. We're going to capture the pawn on b7. Bishop takes b7. And if black takes on b7, then it's queen f5 checkmate. As you can see, the king cannot go here, here, here. He can't go anywhere, so it's checkmate. But the correct response for bishop takes b7 is bishop d6. And if black plays bishop d6, then we just simply go queen b5, nf6, and we just take the rook. And if he goes like na6 or something, we just go bishop b7, exchange all the pieces. Black's king is still in the center, and we are up by pawns. We just need to bring these pieces out, and then it's a clear win. So now going to the main variation, if he goes, instead of playing d5, if he goes directly to king g6, then we just say queen f5 check, king h6, now it's d4 check. He has to stop with g5. We play h4. Bishop e7 is forced. Now pawn takes g5. King g7, queen f7 checkmate. All right. So coming to the original position, the original game. So e4, e5, nf3, f6. So f6 is the fault. And when black plays f6, you then do this knight takes e5. And if he takes pawn takes e5, then you play queen h5 check. But if he does not play pawn takes f5, if he plays something like queen e7, then you just bring your knight back and then you focus on castle, bringing the rook, and winning the game through his strategic weakness of king being the center and behind development. But in this case, if he does take the knight, then we go with queen check, and if he plays g6, now we want to take the rook by playing queen takes e5 check, the variations which we have already seen. And if he goes king e7, then king e7 is actually blunder. The correct variation is to play g6 and then try something. If he goes king e7, then you just take the pawn and then you just bring the pieces out. Now, as you can see in this game, that all white is doing is just bringing the pieces out. The more pieces you bring into the game, the easier it is for you to win. Now the queen is out. Now he's going to bring the bishop. The king is to move, and he's now activating another piece by playing d4. He's activating this bishop and giving a check. G5 is forced. Now h4. He's trying to activate the rook as well as this pawn, because now he's threatening pawn takes pawn, double check. He's forced to play bishop e7. Then hg5, double check, king moves, and checkmate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. So it's one of the things so you don't want to play f6, and if you do play f6, this is the trap that you're going to end up into. All right. Have the rule of thumb is to bring the pieces out, especially the knights out, so that all these can be avoided, especially in the opening. Like instead of f6, if you play like something like nf6, nc6, or even d6, all this will be pretty much avoided. And yeah, so that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow, share with your friends and family. We conduct tournaments. If you're in India or if you want to come to India, be sure to participate in our tournaments. You can also sponsor tournaments if you're interested. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless, be great.